How is everybody doing? Day 25 of our husband's boot camp, Baruch Hashem. The feedback keeps coming in, keep bringing it, and I am very proud so far of this job that we're putting together here. I got a text from a wonderful woman on Friday right before Shabbat, and she said, Rabbi, could you continue the 28 days forever? This is great. So even the women are enjoying it. Now we are on day 25, and as we'll say, we're in the third day of a 5 day process of Dr. Gary Chapman's Five Languages of Love. We said day one was words of affirmation. Day two was gifts, and day three today is acts of service. So let's discuss this a little bit. Remember the premise, the idea, the overall thought behind this concept is that every person has a different way of showing the other person love. It's like a couple sitting in front of me, and I'm looking at two people who don't feel confident in a relationship. They don't feel that the other person loves them, because once they feel loved, a lot of things go off. The uncomfortability goes off. Friction goes off. It's like we're on the same team. You could approach things better. You don't mind criticizing your wife. You're not afraid to, because you know and she knows that you're confident in each other, that nobody has any other feelings other than love and my best interest in mind. It's so much easier to approach things like that. Uncomfortability goes away when there is love in a relationship. And how could it be two people sitting in front of me, so I don't, are not confident in the relationship when they're saying I love you to each other? So just the words I love you is not enough. We all translate love a different way. Some of us translate love, we translate that I'm being loved when people send me words of affirmation. They tell me how great I am. Other people, look at the love that anybody sends them, and that's with gifts. There is the third way is acts of service. Acts of service, doing something for somebody. Unfortunately, we grew up in a time we watch our fathers, our grandfathers that really did very little around the house. And we kind of associate that with, if a person does help around the house, they're quote unquote henpecked. Nowadays they call it they're whipped. Their wives wear the pants in the family. All that type of stupid talk. That's not Jewish talk. You're not less of a king of your castle if you help your wife with the dishes, or you do the laundry, or you do something like that. You're not less of a man, I promise you. In fact, you're probably more of a man. You're more confident in the fact that I could do this and it's totally fine. I could help my wife out. And you're actually conveying that to your wife. You're this important to me. As my friend, his father, we used to like kind of like bother his father, because his father always used to walk around the house and not only do nothing, but had no idea what anything was going on around him around the house. You could ask him questions, and it was funny when you would ask him questions, like you don't know that, you'd be like, we're going in the living room. We'd be like, where's that? What do you mean, you don't know where the living room is? Like, well, wait, come on. I mean, it was almost like a running joke, but he just constantly, just didn't know anything. He was spaced out, we used to call it. So when my friend got engaged, his father came over to me. He said, listen, he said, you think that I don't know where things are? He says, you think when mommy tells me get the milk, I don't know what's in the fridge? And I ask, where do you keep the milk? And then mommy yells at me, what, you don't know we keep milk in the fridge? You here for 40 years? He says, you think I don't know where things are? He says, let me tell you something. He says, I know where everything is. He says, but if I act like I know where things are, then mommy's going to start asking me to do much more things. I don't want to do it. So I just act in a way that I'm spaced out and I'm, not knowing what's going on. But in reality, so that was our fathers and our grandfathers' generation that kind of shied away from doing anything around the house. They came home, they kicked their feet up, they got the paper and a cigar, and that was it. And we're certainly not like that. Our wives are under much more pressure. Even if they have cleaning help, and I can't tell you how many times I hear from people, my wife has a full-time G and she still needs me to do things. All she does is shop all day and she still needs me to do things. Don't ever talk like that. It's a disgusting way of talking. If your wife needs help, she needs help. She could say something like, "You work all day and you're not bringing home enough money." We could play that game. Both ways. Bottom line is a person should help. And sometimes we kind of feel, in a weird way, that it's almost like beneath our dignity sometimes to help. Like we'll do the dishes, and that's not me. Do the laundry, or sometimes make the beds or clean toilets. Like that's not. I'm a man, I should be I should be watching the game now, and that's unfortunate that we feel that way. Years ago, there was a boy who came to Rav Mordechai Gifter. Rav Mordechai Gifter was a Rosh Yeshiva of the Tells Yeshiva in Cleveland, Ohio. Passed away in 2000, right before 9/11. Tremendous tzaddik of a man. And a boy came to him and he told the rabbi the following. He says, he says, my wife has been asking me to throw out the garbage. And I told her that I can't throw out the garbage because it's beneath my dignity. Here I am. I learn Torah all day long. I'm a rabbi. I teach. And now I'm going to go throw out the garbage. It's as if, it's not nice. So the rabbi looked at him and the rabbi said, you're right. You're 100% right. It's beneath your dignity. The next day, the husband and wife are home, and all of a sudden they hear noise outside of their home. They hear noise in the backyard. They go look through the window, and wouldn't you know it, but it's Rab Mordechai Gifter, the great Rosh Yeshiva, 85-year-old man, throwing out this guy's garbage, as if to give him the message, yeah, it's beneath your dignity. It's not beneath my dignity. I'll throw out your garbage. I have no doubt that if they did the same thing with dishes or with laundry, Rabbi Gifter would have came and folded the guy's laundry as well. Acts of service, doing things around the house, is a way to show our wives, I'm with you. I see what you're doing, how hard it is. How many of our wives come to us and say, I just feel like a chadame all day long. I'm just picking up laundry. I'm doing dishes. I'm doing this. I'm just making dinner. I feel like a cook. I feel like I'm just driving the kids to school all day long. That's all I feel. They don't feel good about themselves when they have to do these types of menial tasks. And by us doing them, we show them two things. Number one, we show them that I care for you enough to remove the burden from you, but we also show them in a larger sense that these things are home responsibilities that we all share. And it's my pleasure to do it, just like it's your pleasure to do it. And we kind of take our wife out of that mode of feeling like a schlep or like a, for lack of a better word, like cleaning help, Happens to be that there was a study done between the years of 1999 and 2005 that confirmed something that everybody thought was always true, but it's 1000% true. In couples where husbands help out with the chores, i.e. specifically doing the dishes, they report fewer fights and they also have a better bedroom life. In fact, studies show that men who do the dishes actually appear more attractive to their wives than men who don't. It's an amazing thing. So if you want to go ahead and have that extra added incentive for acts of service, the more acts of service you do for your wife, the more inclined she will be to be intimate with you, and certainly you'll appear much more attractive to your wife, although you're doing something that is gross by doing the dishes, and something that's girly, you would say, by doing the dishes. It's a very smart thing to help around the house, and acts of service is a way of showing your wife that you love her. Help around the house. Hello, so today's day 25, acts of service, and of course, our task of the day is going to be to do some sort of act of service for your wife. Do something. Do the dishes Sunday morning, vacuum the living room, clean up the toys in the basement, maybe do a load of laundry if she lets you do that type of things. Make her breakfast and clean up the kitchen afterwards, or just clean up the kitchen. I don't know, whatever it is that your wife needs to get done, a couple things that she needs to get done, do it before she wakes up Sunday morning. And then when she wakes up, tell her, oh, by the way, honey, good morning. I went to shul, because of course you got to go to shul. I prayed, and I also, folded some of the laundry. I matched some of the socks. I cleaned the children's bathroom. I did the beds, whatever it is you're going to do. So that is day 25, task, act of service. Do one thing this morning for your wife before she wakes up. Let's see if you can handle that. I'm sure you